Hey guys, what's going on? Just left work. Have a little topic for you guys today, and this is serious, man, and this could be something deep. But what it is that today I realized that, and the thing is, I always knew this. I've been posting like statuses on Facebook about it, and I've known this, but today I kind of realized it on an even deeper level, you know? And the thing is that fathers' voices matter. A father's voice matters, all right? In the life of probably every human being, not, but I'm saying probably every human being, a father's voice matters. And this is so important because I feel like men but men kind of downplay or undermine, like not undermine, or like, I don't know, there's a word I'm looking for, but anyways, men downplay the necessity of their fatherhood sometimes in a child's life. Like, what we got to get to the point is, what we understand is that a father is so necessary. A father is so necessary, and a present father, and not only a weekend father. And I know people are gonna, say what they gotta say, and they feel some type of way because I said a weekend father, but it is what it is, bro. We were meant to have both a mother and a father present in our life, but because of the way of the world, for one reason or another, that is not always the case, and sometimes that's almost, I don't want to say barely the case, but in a lot of cases that's not the case. And unfortunately, when that is the truth, or that's the circumstance, there is going to be repercussions, there is going to be consequences, because when a father and mother was both meant to be in a child's life and they end up not being in the child's life for some reason or another, there will be consequences. And I'm not trying to get on nobody. I know it's nobody's fault. I get it. But all I'm just saying, for me is I know for a fact there is always going to be consequences, even in the situations where the father or mother is present, but maybe they're not all the way present. Okay, a lot of people have like relationships with their dad where the dad was there. He could have probably even lived in the house, but for some reason he wasn't there. Like, he wasn't emotionally present. And like I was saying, fathers don't understand the weight that they carry nowadays. They don't understand that it's important for you to be there for your kid. Like, a lot of people like to say it's all on the mother. I feel like they feel like it's most of it is on the mother, and I just know that is just the wrong way to think. Okay, a father is so important. The voice of a father is so important, and I'm gonna tell you why, bro. Because the first piece of research I know is that we see, as a father, especially in the Bible, the father is usually the one who gives the direction to the child, who says, you're going to be this, you're going to do this. The blessing gives the child the identity, what you're going to be. That's the blessing that the father, even from the Bible days, usually passes down to the child. The blessing of what the child's going to be, what the child is to accomplish, and things like that. That goes to show you that the father is instrumental, is very important into setting a child's identity, to setting the standard of what the child will be in their life. I'm not saying mothers can't do that, but I'm just saying that's what a father role is, and we can't downplay that role. The role of the father, you telling the child what you're gonna be, what we expect out of you, your potential in this world, things like that. These are things that a father who knows his value, who knows his importance, instills in a child. This is why when kids are fatherless, our kids don't have their father present like they should, a lot of them struggle with low self-esteem, depression, identity issues, because we struggle with not knowing who we are, because a father does instill that identity in a child. Okay, so when the father's out of the picture, scientifically, if you do your research, you're going to see children struggle with so many things. But depression is one of them. Low self-esteem is one of them. Identity, that's one of them. Not knowing who they are, because a good father instills that identity in a child. And I'll tell you why. What happened today that made me even realize this, okay? So, I guess growing up, my mom and dad, they had an on and off relationship, right? They had an on and off relationship. It was not really working, obviously, because they're divorced now. So in that time, there was a stretch of time, I think it was like maybe 4 years, that we didn't really see my dad, but he came. But I remember times that he used to come and visit, not stay, but he used to come and visit sometimes. So, but I think that he used to come and visit sometimes, and then there was a stretch of time that we didn't see him for 4 years. So, and then they ended up trying to make it work again. So we moved back down to Florida to be for them to try to make it work, probably just for the children and for them to be together. And they were together for a little bit over maybe about 10 years. But my dad was there, but because he didn't understand the value of his presence in the house, he was present but not present. So means that he wasn't really emotionally involved, right? Emotionally, really there. My dad is a very I don't know, because of one reason or another, maybe he's very hard-hearted. He's not really soft like that. Now that I know him better, I know that he's not what I thought he was, but really growing up, I felt like he was just very hard-hearted. And a lot of people, especially in the Haitian community, that's how fathers are. They're very tough, and they don't show weakness, and they it's not a lot of emotion. And to be honest, kids really do need that. There's gonna be something lacking if you're not able to tap into that side of you, that kind of I would say a feminine side of you as a father. When you can't be soft, when you can't be open-hearted, there's going to be a lacking in your child. If as a man, you can't open yourself like that, right? But as I'm saying, still to this day, even us growing up, our father being like that, it caused a rift between me and him, and of course him and his son, which is my older brother. It caused a rift, to the point that I can't speak for my brother, but I didn't see the point of him being there, because I'm if you're just gonna be here but you're not gonna be involved with us, it feels like you here for no reason. So it made me very angry with him, and it just caused a rift between him for years, probably almost all those 10 years that they were together. It caused a rift between me and him. I didn't really want to interact with him, and I didn't really understand the point of him being there. Now, fast forward to, let's say, when I turned about 18, when they split up, I began to develop a better relationship with my dad when I was about 18. So I don't know, them breaking up, them splitting up made a whole different turnaround, a whole different difference in my dad, to the point that we were finally able to hash things out and have a relationship. And it's been good ever since. It's been good, it's haven't been perfect, but it's been good. So, and we still get into it, by the way, because me and my dad are so much alike. When I tell you me and my dad, I didn't even know that we were so much alike. Looks wise, I look almost exactly like my mom, but personality wise, I just really figured out that I am just like my dad. And when I say I'm just like my dad, I'm saying that we think we know it all. We think we know it all. We will argue and debate you to the depths. When you're talking to us, we make you feel like that we're not even listening to you. When we're talking, going back and forth, you think that we're not even listening to you. And I'm sure many of my friends could really can really attest to that. Like when when we're going back and forth argue with me, it seems like you're talking to a brick wall, but which you're not. I do listen to you, but I already know. But look at this, I already know what you're gonna say, so I already got a rebuttal. Same way with my dad. It feels like he's not listening to you. It's hard for him to chill and let you get your point across. It's so frustrating. Again, we're know-it-alls. All that. And the thing is, my dad, because he lived longer than me, I feel like he do know a lot. Because the thing is, me and him get into it, we going back and forth, and then, you know, I get upset and I leave, and then weeks down the line I realize that he was right about it, and then I go back, I was like, okay, you was right. You feel me? So 99% of the time he do be right. So it is what it is. So that means in my life, 99% of the time I'll probably be right too. But hey, we're not even gonna go there. But what I'm saying is, today really did make me realize, I had an epiphany that a father's voice is, even if a father didn't use his voice to where he should have been using it, he didn't use his influence and his authority with his children. Like, even though he may have lacked in that area, if you still, even if you don't interact with the father, the lack of him being there, I bet it still causes some kind of result. There's still, of course, you're going to see some kind of just effect of that, right? But now if your father's still in your life, I don't know if anybody else is going to notice this, but you're going to also see that there's still that there. Me and my brother we're both grown adult children. All right. Yeah, we're still his children, but we're both grown adults living our lives the way we want to live our life. Neither one of us live with him, but all right. And then a lot of the times we dread having to be lectured by him because we don't want to hear it. But every time you talk to my dad, it's going to be a lecture, no matter what. You're going to say something that's just going to trigger him, and he's going to give you a lecture. But I did receive some kind of wisdom from other places, saying that I need to listen to that wisdom, because if I don't be careful, I'm gonna miss it. So there is wisdom, a lot of wisdom locked inside my dad. That goes without saying. I can't even front on that. But having to be lectured every time you hear you talk to somebody, every time you around somebody, it's very annoying. Okay, but I'm not gonna lie, we do gotta listen to the man. But as I was saying, even as a grown child who don't want to hear lectures, me and my brother both, I could see the influence that him as a father still have over us. And the influence is different. Okay, I know people are going to argue with me and say, oh, moms have that influence too. Moms have an influence, but it's not the same as a father. It is not the same. And I'm not sure if I could completely explain it away. Like, I think moms more speak life. Like, moms will speak life. Like, moms will, if you're down in the dumps, they will get you up. They will motivate you. Again. Moms can be directional, but they're more supportive. Like, I think that's how women is. Because women, they don't try to overtake the whole, maybe some women do, but they don't try to overtake the whole situation. And because I'm more like my dad, I'm more of an overtaker and try to like guide and direct, because I'm like my dad. But most of all, women, when they hear what your plans are, they try to, they influence, they put a little something in it, but overall they just really want to support you and encourage you. And that's the way that they influence it, more softly, more soft, more passive. But a dad, he's gonna tell you, like, whatever your idea is no good. Like, they'll be more directional, more bold, more like tough on decision. Like, they will tell you straight up. If they don't completely agree with your decision, they will let you know. Like, they're not afraid to be more like stern and strict about it. And as I'm saying, I see that more in the influence that my dad has. Okay, and like I said, it's different from my mother. The dad influence or the father influence or the father authority, like I'm saying, even though we've had a strained relationship in the past, him and me, and him and my brother. Even though we're tired, we get so tired of his lectures every time we interact with him, it's a lecture. Even though he still has so much influence, and it's a passive influence, because because like I said, growing up, he was never so emotionally involved with us. Like, he worked, he came home, he slept, he went to work, he came home, he went to work, he came home. He did his job in that way. But when we talk about emotionally invested, it was not there. So even today, he's way more emotionally invested than he ever was, but he's still not all the way that emotionally invested person. But even if he's not that, he will still, his influence over us, it's still a certain kind of authority. And let me give you an example. Let me give you an example for me, and I'll give you an example for my brother. And this is recent stuff. And as I told you, me and my dad, we will talk about my choices, my decisions, my plans for the future. That's what he mainly likes to talk about, really. He wants to make sure that we're basically set financially, educationally. Education is such a big thing for him before he leaves this earth, right? And let me tell you, me and my dad, when we disagree with something, it get a little bit ugly. And when I say ugly, it's not like crazy disrespectful. It's just that a lot of irritation, a lot of yelling, and okay, bye, I'll see you later, bye. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you later. And this is me at his house. Okay, bye. Okay, bye, I'm done, bye. All right? And we just get aggravated with each other quickly, because when we speak, like I said, we're the same. So nobody's listening. Everybody wants to get their point across, and everybody's getting cut off left and right, because we want to get our point across. So I go over to my dad's house a few weeks ago, right? And currently, I'm about to graduate with my bachelor's degree. And basically, I'm not wrong for this. All I want to hear him is congratulate me about my bachelor's degree. Because me and him, we fought over this bachelor's degree too. He kept saying I need to get it. I kept saying I don't even want it because I'm not sure how it's going to benefit me. Even though I was talking, I knew I was still going to get it, but really I was very discouraged in it. But he's the one who said, no, you got to get it. He kept it going. He never let up. Even when the times I took a break from school, he's like, when you getting back into school? Like, he never let that up. So he was very instrumental in me getting a bachelor's degree today. So when I'm like less than a month away from it, the only thing I want to hear you say is congratulations, which he really should say that. But my dad, he a little different, okay? He a little different. Like I said, he's still a little hard-hearted, right? So instead of talking about congratulating me about my bachelor's degree, in his own way, he said, okay, so what are you going to do after? This man already started to try to talk to me about a master's degree. I'm like, oh, no. You understand? Girl, listen, for someone who fought to finish, who crawled to the finish line, and you not even at the finish line yet, because I didn't graduate. I'm graduating in like 3 weeks. You do not want to hear about a master's degree yet. Like, you may get a master's degree. I may get a master's degree. I may even begin to think about that, right? But I don't want to think about that right now. But he did not understand that. And of course, we get into an argument about that. I'm like, no, leave me alone. I don't want to hear about it. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Just because a master's degree don't mean nothing. This is my argument for everything when he talk about degrees and stuff. I'm like, it don't mean nothing. People who with master's degrees, doctor's degree, they broke, they can't find a job, they in a whole bunch of debt. You have to find your gift, you gotta find your purpose. That's what's gonna get you to the money. Like, that is my main thing. But because he's an immigrant, come from a third world country, he understands the value of education on a different kind of level. It's just a different perspective about education when you're from a third world country. Like, if people from there, they understand that they have to take advantage of that opportunity, because in their country they don't have those type of opportunities. I don't know why my dad's so deep about that, because he did have the opportunity, because he did not grow up poor, but he still didn't complete his education in the US. Like, he didn't go past a high school diploma, so he's still a little strict about education. Like, get your education, get your degree. But I'm like, I don't even know this dude. I didn't even know my dad knows so much about a master's degree anyway, and then he just trying to hit me with a master's degree. So long story short, we get into a heated debate about the master's degree. And at that point I said, okay, I'm leaving, bye. I'm leaving, bye, because I'm hot. I'm like, bro, congratulate me about the bachelor's, bro. Congratulate me about the bachelor's, okay? And you already talking about a master's. Leave me alone. I did not want to hear it at all, and nothing anybody said was going to get me to hear that. So a few weeks later, of course, I get into a heated argument. Leave. A few weeks later, not even a few weeks later, over these few weeks, after I vent, after I let everything out, because, you go to your mom and you vent to your mom, and your mom like, yeah, I understand. The mom influence, and your mom understand. After and this is why it's good for mom and dads to, like, kind of be together, because you see that work, that even though, like, they're different, it still kind of works together, because my mom allowed me to get that vent off my chest. Like, please congratulate me about my degree first. Don't start, like, she understood that. She understood that part. And then when I found that understanding, someone who understood how I felt about that, now guess what? Now I'm thinking about master's degree. Now it's popping up in my head over these few weeks that I haven't really talked to my dad since we got into that heated argument. Master's degree is popping up in my head. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I should get a master's degree. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Today I'm sitting at work, and this is probably like 3 weeks later. I'm sitting out from today's 3 weeks since we probably got into that argument. I'm sitting at work. Tell me why I have some free time. I go on that the website, the college website, and I go apply for a master's degree. I submit an application to get a master's degree. All that fighting, all that back and forth, all that vented to my mom, you feel me? Me being angry with my dad, it all ended up in, like, 3 weeks later, here I go applying for that master's degree program. I did not want to even hear about a master's degree. But because of that influence from my dad, that influence, that you would think that I rejected it completely and I didn't want to hear it. You would think that. And then because he even put that out there into that atmosphere, here I go. 3 weeks later, after everything marinates, everything comes back, full circle, boom, I apply for the application for the master's degree program. Do you see how a father's influence still just works? A father's influence still just works. The direction of your life, when you have a father speaking into your life in that way, even in the most subtlest way, when you have a father speaking in, how that affects you. Because even though I was angry, even though I did the runaround for 3 weeks, even though I was venting to my mom, 3 weeks later, I'm calm, I'm at work, I'm doing nothing. I go into that dang college site, boom, I apply for the master's degree program. And what I see, and also that comes with that father's voice or that father's direction, is that, you know how it's proven that you have kind of low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and these are things that you could learn the skills, you could gain it. God could heal those things in you, which he has healed a lot of those things in me. And you can train yourself and you can build yourself up in different ways. I believe people could be able to do that. But initially, a father was meant to instill those things into a child. So if you don't have a father, you could still find it in other ways, or you could just trust in your Father God, Lord Jesus, and he could instill that in you. But initially, your father figure was supposed to instill that, right? So what I see about the father figure is, and I know that because I struggle, by the way, I know that because I struggle with a lot of self-esteem, low self-confidence issues because of the lack of direction from my father, the lack of, direction, the lack of direction from my father growing up. Okay, the lack of him being emotionally involved, in all of that. That's what happens when the father's not, using his voice and giving direction and being emotionally present and stuff like that, and telling you about yourself, telling you how you're good at this. This is what fathers do. They affirm you and tell you you're good at this, and reveal to you your strengths and your weaknesses. Like they do all of that. So and you really believe them, because fathers, they're not here to buy your face. Fathers are not here. Most fathers, they're not trying to buy your face. Okay, and when I say buy your face, they're not trying to boost you up or make you feel good for no reason, or because they're not trying to lie to you. Father's going to tell you straight up like it is. Okay, another benefit of a father. Now, what I'm saying is, what I see about the father's voice is all that self-doubt and insecurity, or that confusion, and that confusion, and you not being able to decide, decide and make a decision. When a father tells you something, all of that gets bypassed. All of that gets bypassed. All that self-doubt, like maybe I can't do it, maybe I won't be good at this. Oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? Oh, is this really meant for me? All those kind of thoughts, when a father says something, it gets bypassed. It bypasses all of that. It bypasses all the self-doubt and insecurity. Because when your father tells you that you could do something, for some reason, it just, as his child, it just activates. It just activates. And I don't know if anybody out there who could just agree with me on that, who understands what I'm talking about, but that is it for sure. Because there's a lot of things in my life that, when I say that I want to pursue, that I want to do, and I'm always second guessing myself, always undecided, confused, in that state of unclarity, not being clear, even have low self-confidence, low self-esteem about it. There's things like that in my life. But for some reason, and even when my mother, by the way, affirms me in it, there's still that part of me that's still not all the way affirmed. Like, even when the mother does affirm, it does work. Like, a mother's affirmation does help out a lot. But it's still, there is still some of it that it doesn't really completely, it doesn't really completely go all the way. Why? Because that place that it doesn't go all the way, that's where the father comes in. Because now I could have, before I was like, oh, I'm not even trying to do this master's degree. I don't even know if I could do it. Like all that indecision. I don't know, should I do it? Should I not? But as soon as your father comes in and tells you, do the master's degree program, boom, you're not even thinking whether you're gonna get accepted. You're not even thinking, like, sometimes you struggle with which program should you do. Boom, I already know the program. I just looked on the website. Boom, I choose the program. Like, I'm confident about that program. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm over there choosing a dual degree, like a master's in both programs. I'm like, where does that confidence come from? And that confidence comes from the voice of a father. It comes from the voice of the father. So I'm all that indecision. I don't know what degree to choose. I don't know if I should do this, shouldn't do this. I don't know if I can do this. That low self-confidence, low self-esteem, the voice of a father, you just bypass that completely. And that's what I'm seeing the result or the consequence, whatever, of the voice of a father does. Another example, my brother, he got a job, right? He got a job. And this job, I don't know, he was going to take this job. For some reason, he spoke with my dad. And guess what? My brother, if I hate the lectures that my dad give, my brother hated even worse. Because, men like to do their own thing even more than women. Men are hard-headed, they're prideful. So my brother hates my dad's lecture even worse. But he got a job, right? He told my dad he gets this job. My dad knows about this job. My dad tells him, like, nope, you're better than this job. Get another job. Why does my brother quit that job immediately? He quits that job immediately, not knowing if he'll get another job, not knowing. But he's just my father speaking that into him, like, you're better than that. You can get another job. And my father always says, like, you're born here. You're an American. You could do a better job than certain other jobs. So my brother, that just instills in him the confidence, even that they don't have the best relationship, even if they bump heads, instills in him the confidence to just quit his job on the fly, and boom, my brother turns around and gets another job, a better job. So do you see how that voice of the father, even though the relationship could be strained, how important that is? Now imagine a relationship that is actually the best relationship, that the father was present emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, in all those areas. Imagine what kind of effect or influence that you have on your child when you're even more present than a non-present father or a presently unpresent father. Okay, I don't maybe I could talk a little bit about a father being not present, because it does, if a father being present could have such a beneficial effect, then definitely a father not being present, it has the opposite effect. Like I said, you can suffer from low self-esteem, low self-confidence, not being able to make good decisions, or being being indecisive, and we see that in society, especially in minority groups, especially people of color, black people, who we suffer from not having a father in our household the most. So a lot of us struggle with identity. A lot of us struggle because now we all we do is we buy into what the world says we're supposed to be. So when it comes to black men, they're all thinking that they could only be ballers or rappers, do music, or be an athlete. Why? Because they don't have a father in the household to tell them, listen, you could go into this area, you could be a scientist, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor. If that is the consequence of not having a healthy father figure in your household. Someone who can speak life into you. Okay, someone who can speak life into you in a way that they show you, like, you have strength, you have gifts, you have strength and gifts in this area. You can do this. Like, this is what you're supposed to be. This is what you're capable of. This is what your direction in life. This is the standard of what we expect out of you. When you have a father to do that in you, your life could be completely different. People's lives could be completely different than thinking that, I have to either sell drugs or be a entertainer, do music, or be a basketball player, into sport. You when you have a father, a healthy father who knows better, he can encourage you to do way more things. He can show you that the sky's the limit. You're capable, because not everybody has the skills to be an entertainer, whether that is in sports or do music. So you don't have a father to tell you, hey, listen, you have strength in this area. You could do this. You could be a scientist. You could be an engineer. So you just go with what the world kind of makes you think that you are. And we would have more people of color, whether that's men or women, represented in different areas, if we were able to see that and understand that. And if fathers were to understand their role even better, and understand that it's way deeper than what you think. You could be a nurse, you could be a doctor, or you could be an investment banker, you could be this. There's so many other roles that we don't even know, but it just takes time. It takes time, and it takes an understanding from fathers, and it takes an opening of the mind to different opportunities and avenues in life. But all I had to say, I hope I explained this really well, because this is just something that I just kind of received. But a father's voice is very important. A father's voice is very important. It brings out your identity. It brings out your strengths, your weakness, your strengths, your confidence, your direction in life, the things that you're supposed to fulfill. And we know this because when God speaks into our life, and God is supposed to be our father too. So when God speaks into your life, that's the same thing that he does. And I notice another thing that a father does. There are certain things that you warn about. There's certain things that you worry about, whether that's like you're really worried about, or maybe that something that's bothering you, like if somebody attacks you in a certain way and says things to you that you are not, or tries to shame you in any way, or tries to crack on you. There's certain thing about if a father says something, like a father, if the father speaks over that, it becomes nothing. It disintegrates. Like the worry about anything, or if somebody tries to attack your character in any way, once a father speaks and be like, listen, why are you worried about that? So who cares? Like, A father could just say that just like that, and something that was so big to you, that weighed so heavy on you, a certain kind of burden, it crumbles into nothing. And literally, I've had experiences with my father, God, that something that weighed heavy on my shoulder, it crumbled into nothing because he spoke over it. And that's the same thing with my dad, because I had somebody attack my character in a way, and as soon as my dad said, so what, who cares, why do you care, is that true, is it true, as soon as he said that, it became nothing. Like something that the person said to me, it was like a big deal to me, but as soon as my dad just, you know what I'm saying, he just attacked it, just knocked it down, like what, why are you worrying about that, who cares, it became like nothing. So that's what a father does. He affirms who you are, affirms your identity. In a way, he's a gatekeeper of that self-esteem, because that is a self-esteem issue when you allow things of other people to get to you and really like try to hold you down, really attack you, and it's heavy on you, it's a burden, and you're carrying it with you. As soon as a father could speak over that and be like, hey, that don't mean nothing, for some reason it just disintegrate. And what I want people to know is that I'm speaking from this is how my father has, the influence he is having over my life, and we haven't even had the best relationship in the past. Right now we have a better relationship. We still are, as you see, we still argue, we still fight. So we don't even have the perfect relationship, and he still has that effect. So imagine somebody imagine you, if you're a man watching this, how you could be a present father, how you being a present father will have an effect on your kid, or you not being a present father will have an effect on your kid. You should be there to tell your kids what they are, to affirm them in who they are, to affirm them in their identity. When someone says something that attacks their character and make them feel low, or attacks their self-esteem, it's your words that's there to pull them out of that and knock that down and crumble that. That's what a father could do. So I don't want to, it's already a long video, but that's what I see today. I hope I explained this right, because this is still like, it's new to me, and I'm probably gonna eventually make a better video about that maybe, but this is just like my raw realization right now. So I hope you guys can understand that. I'm going to do a presentation at school. Wish me luck. This is like the last week, guys, and I'm graduating. I might do my master's now, who knows. Okay, and when I tell my dad, he gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, when parents just know, they just, yeah, you see, yeah, all that extra stuff he was doing to end up doing exactly what he said. Why? Because it's that influence, that authority of a father that is just naturally in place, naturally in place in the world, in the universe, that it's just like something that you could barely have power over. You do, but at the same time, like, you don't. Like, if you hate your dad, you probably not going to allow him to have that power over you. But if you hate him, there's still a power over you. And there's still certain things that he does that, even though it's going to make you angry, it's still going to have that power over you. And that's the power of a father, used in a bad way, I guess. But it's still there. So, all right then, y'all. I'll see you later. Let me know what you think in the comments.